The South loves their food, whether it's that little spot just around the corner or completely off the beaten path. We're hitting the road to discover dining destinations you can't help but fall in love with. Join me, Steak Shapiro, as I drive in style across the Southeast to bring you the best bites, the ones you gotta have. This is Dish Worth the Drive. Dish Worth the Drive starts now. We're getting the scoop on Oyster Cookoff with our friend Mara Davis.
We're here in Gulf Shores, overlooking some of the most magnificent beaches in the country. And every year, it's the host to a food lover's paradise at the Hangout Oyster Cookoff. Craft beer and rockin' live music, this is the place to be. And the competition is fierce. James Beard Award-winning chefs, celebrity chefs, they're all competing for the top prize. But we're gonna leave the heavy lifting to them because it's time for us to hang out at the Hangout Oyster Cookoff.
What's not to love, right? Fall on the coast is probably the prettiest time. There is some connection beyond just the water and the sand. People just come back to again and again and again. We're at our little courtyard of paradise here at the Hangout, right at the beach. Been doing business at the Gulf Coast of Alabama since 1992. Fell in love with it back then, saw the place grow, and love seeing it change every day. The Oyster Cookoff started a little bit more local, grew up to regional, to a national position right now. We're very proud of it. We reached out to amazing, talented chefs all over the country. It's a great party. It's a great atmosphere. Everybody's sharing kind of this love of oyster, southern hospitality, all these things that this area is known for.
There's so much happening at the Hangout Oyster Cookoff. Everything from a shucking contest, killer live music, great people watching. This is so fun. Shuck, yeah. We have got some fired up oyster lovers. You've been coming here since the beginning. What makes this festival so great?
It's just the oysters, the people, the chefs.
This is nothing but oysters. This is great chefs abiding by the same rules, coming up with completely different results, right? Amazing. The variety that you're going to see at Oyster Cookoff is going to be incredibly diverse.
It truly is one of the greatest food events in the country. You can try oysters from all over the world.
Being at Gulf Shores, right on the beach, you got a lot of great restaurants, both professional and amateur, from all over the Southeast, kind of coming and representing, and you're cooking up great food, oysters.
It's probably one of the greatest festivals, certainly when you're coming down south, because it's not just food, it's music, it's entertainment. They got the raw bar as well. There's 27 different oysters from around the nation, heaps of cool people. You can't get much better than a couple of beers, cold oysters.
It's my third year here. Love to come down here. Love oysters. One of my favorite foods in the world.
We're doing a little extra stuff and just, having a good time on the beach. Made some ribs and some brisket and some pork butts. We didn't really win the Oyster Cook-Off a few years, but we said we got first place pig.
It's a competition, but I really wouldn't call it a competition. We all work together. We're all having fun. I mean, just like we're competing against each other, but I want to know how yours tastes. You know what I'm saying?
All the teams are all interactive. If you need anything, everybody's here to help everybody out.
There's a lot of talented chefs and restaurants out here, but it's honestly one of the coolest vibes and atmospheres that we really have fun and just competing and putting out good food for everybody.
We get a chance to show off for them a little bit and have fun while we're doing it.
What don't you love? We're at the Hangout. Hello. From award-winning chefs to die-hard weekend warriors, over 60 contestants battle it out to take the top spot.
We come down here to have a good time. We have all of our buddies from across the South who represent different areas, different restaurants, different regions, and we want to win. We want to beat them. At the end of the day, we want to be able to say, hey, my name's above yours.
Talk smack, but at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, right?
We come to win this year.
It's crazy sometimes, but everyone likes to have fun, get some great oysters, great food. You can't beat being right here on the beach with us.
Even before I made this one, I'm starting to think about next year. So that's how you have to do it.
So here's the competition lowdown. Each tent competes in 3 categories: Rockefeller, Cajun, and Raw.
First up, Oyster Rockefeller, a brunch staple typically made with breadcrumbs, spinach, and butter. But at this fest, innovative ingredients and killer presentations make this retro dish something to behold.
We're doing our take on Rockefeller, Southern style. So instead of using spinach, we're doing collard green. Instead of breadcrumb, we're using cornbread, a little Parmesan cream, and instead of the bacon, we're using pulled ham hock meat.
We're doing great, doing some good oysters. We're doing a mustard green with some roasted garlic and a little bit of fresh garlic as well.
I'm Jeremy Downey from Birmingham, Alabama. Rockefeller is pork belly, a crazy compound butter with bacon, pecorino cheese, lemon juice, garlic, bacon fat. It's all in the butter.
Hangout was conceived as an entertainment venue for the whole family. You come, you eat, you dance on the tables, you play games. It's just fun. It's about being on vacation. It's about spending time with family. We're an all-American type fare. We use as fresh as possible ingredients. We're right at the coast here, so everything that is available from the coast gets incorporated. The best preparation, and make sure that the food does not take a second seat to all the other activities that we do.
It's a nice place to hang out, it's a nice place to drink beer, and a nice place to eat oysters and everything else that goes along with it.
There's so many different things to do. It's a matter of like making memories. If you look around, there's a few areas that we say, just make memories. It's incredible how simple life can be when you're back with your family and you're having a great time.
I enjoy the beach, I enjoy the whole area, I love the food and the atmosphere.
You cannot meet so many chefs at one place in such a beautiful surrounding. You can't go wrong. It's sort of what's not to love. The Oyster Cookoff embodies what this area is all about. Alabama-LSU game, there's going to be promises made and broken based on the results of that game. We will put it on a huge screen. We'll have viewing stations all over.
Everybody brings TVs, and we all play the games, so you don't miss anything. So you can watch your favorite football team, and you can get something to eat and drink and have a good time.
I played for Alabama, man. 92 championship, baby.
We've been working with the Hangout group here for a couple of years. We started with SEC Beach Fest, and this is our third year to do the Oyster Cook-Off, and we just set up and have a good time and make it a lot of fun. We get ideas from an event like this. Hey, here's some new recipes that we can give people so that they can do Oyster Fest in their backyard if that's what they choose to do. So bottom line, we just have fun. We're in the business of fun.
Just come and experience it, man. If you don't experience it, you're missing out.
We're just getting started. Stay tuned for more of the Oyster Cook-Off.
Some transitions happen gradually over time, but some can happen in an instant. In the unspoiled beauty of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, where extraordinary adventures and expansive sugar-white beaches stretch on for mile after mile, it only takes a moment before you realize you're in a whole different state. Come, be transformed.
You know, my great-grandfather named a community just out of appreciation and respect for his friends and neighbors. This coffee is made with 4 generations of family care, and you know, it's not just one family's business, it's a lot of families' business. Our expectations are the same. We all want the coffee to be satisfying and great tasting. It's that rich, smooth flavor. We guarantee you'll love in every cup.
for riding along. Just Worth the Drive is back.
There's so much happening at the Hangout Oyster Cook-Off. These chefs get into it. You know there's gonna be something interesting, something different, flavor profiles that you're not gonna believe. Everything from ceviche to pork belly. No matter how you love them, there's gonna be something that's perfect for you.
I mean, I'm coming to Oyster Cook-Off because it's fun. I've been thinking about the beach, you know, I've been like craving it. And, you know, finally I get to check my calendar and I look at it like, oh, Oyster Cook-Off, it's coming. And I'm finally here, and you can tell I'm super excited.
I feel like I'm with the perfect festival couple. You got the glasses, you got the hats, you got the food. What makes the Oyster Cook-Off so special?
Good oysters in a great location. We're just excited to get something good to eat and a few drinks and enjoy the day.
This is fun. Everyone comes out, tries some oysters. People that don't eat oysters try them for the first time and like them.
It's really cool to showcase how versatile the oyster is. There's so many things that you can do with an oyster, it's ridiculous.
And there's all kinds of different chefs doing crazy stuff to oysters, and it's just super fun.
You got restaurants from all over the coast and from Alabama. The atmosphere is awesome.
People are having a good time. The drinks are flowing. We got live music, and we're literally 200 yards from the beach.
We turn up the heat in the Cajun category, but it's not all about the spice. Pulling in flavors from all over the Gulf Coast, contestants get creative and definitely impress.
My name's John Flanagan. I'm from Crabs on the Beach, Pensacola, Florida. Oysters Bienville. Oh, these are fantastic. It's a 5-cheese mixture, local Conecuh, Alabama sausage, red peppers, green onions, Cajun spices. Really, really delicious.
Stoked to be here. We've got 3 banging oysters right now. We got one oyster that's fried with foie gras, a spicy cream sauce. Insane.
I'm Craig Lisenby, Floribama Yacht Club. It's called a Southern BLT oyster. Smoked green tomatoes, honey candied sriracha bacon, and Gouda cheese. It's good stuff, man.
Saturday may be dedicated to the oyster, but Friday night is devoted to craft beer. With over 60 craft brews, live music, brewmaster demos, it's the perfect way to get the festival weekend started.
We're with beer guy Brian, just hanging out. It's a perfect thing. Oyster Cook-Off, talking beer. A lot of craft beers here today.
Absolutely, a lot of great craft beers from all around Alabama, the entire region. We have 5 different beers here today, plus our specialty collaboration, Hop Tub, which is a celebration of all beers Alabama.
And this is gonna be so great when I'm eating an oyster, listening to live music. I mean, this is the life. Cheers.
Absolutely, cheers.
This thing sort of started in the Pacific Northwest. Now it's taken over the country. Alabama has a great scene, great brewers.
This is a great time. You're overlooking the beach, eating a delicious Gulf oyster, and drinking a cold beer. I mean, what's better than that?
There's new breweries open up every day in this country, and there's over 4,000 in the whole country now. And a lot of the best ones are down here in the Southeast, and we're just kind of celebrating that and having a good time down here.
Tell me about some of the craft beers you tried tonight.
Well, we've gone from Birmingham up to New Orleans, Louisiana beer. We've tried every one.
How many of those can you drink in one night?
We'll soon find out.
There's a lot of really good stuff coming out of the South, especially Alabama, Florida Panhandle, Mississippi. It's a really exciting time for craft beer. You pair it up with food tomorrow, and it's a really good excuse to get out of the house.
There are briny oysters and there are sweeter oysters, and so there's not going to be a single beer that matches with all oysters. It is perfect for pairings because you're going to find, hey, that like sort of sweeter oyster, I want this flavor to cut that with.
No doubt, craft beer and oysters make the perfect duo. Our picks? Team up the richness of an Oyster Rockefeller with the high acidity of a Weiss. Tame the heat of a Cajun style with a light and bubbly Pilsner. And go full throttle with as many raw oysters as you can put down. Pair it up with an IPA.
It is a marriage made in heaven. People on the West Coast have done wines and oysters for a long time. I think it's perfect in the Gulf. Think of it as beer and oysters.
Oysters and beer, is there a better combo? I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's great.
More from the Oyster Cook-Off when we come back.
If you're in the know, then you know that all of the color and half the taste of your bourbon comes directly from the barrel, which means your bourbon will only be as good as the barrel in which it rests. Cooper's Craft Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey is a refined, toasted wood whiskey aged in barrels we've raised ourselves. Smooth, easy to drink, and meant to be shared. So give it a taste. Just make sure you raise your glass to those that raise the barrels.
It doesn't get any tastier than what's up next.
We're gonna have 26 varieties of oysters throughout North America that fans will be able to taste naked. We have oysters from Baja, Mexico, from the Pacific Northwest, from the Mid-Atlantic, from the Maritimes in Canada, obviously from the Gulf Coast. We're gonna have a panel of 16 judges from around the country, all in the industry, culinary, growing side, that are gonna rate these oysters, helping people understand the different flavor profiles and the different common elements with different oysters to help people pair an oyster with a drink and pair an oyster with a recipe.
I don't know about you, but I'm not necessarily into all the hoo-ha when it comes to an oyster. I actually like to taste the oyster for what it is. I actually like a raw oyster. I like that salty, briny deliciousness, like a nice kiss from Nana.
You know, the beautiful thing about oysters is oysters take on the flavor of where they're grown. They have West Coast oysters here, and we have East Coast oysters. Those are different species of oysters, all right? So they taste different. And then you get the environment that they're grown in. Oysters are like grapes. They take on the flavor of where they're grown. So if I grow an oyster in Alabama, it'll taste different than an oyster grown from Louisiana. In fact, if I grow an oyster in one sound in Alabama and then somewhere else, they will taste different. It's very easy to get 26 varieties of oysters. It's fantastic that we actually have an opportunity to sample them all at the same time.
Each region has its own distinct flavor and size. From mild to overly briny to plump or bite-sized, there is so much that goes into farming oysters. Who knew? And now it gets serious. The raw category. No category gets patrons more excited. And for the contestants, these are the ultimate bragging rights. It takes a measured hand because in this category, balance is key.
For us, and down here in the South, we've got a pretty salty, briny oyster down here, so it's nice to have a nice acidity going on. We're doing a nice tomato relish with ours. It just makes it pop, man, that salt following it up and finishing out.
Chef Tony Luna. I represent Live Bait in Orange Beach. What I did is I made like a pico de gallo ceviche with tequila in it.
How can you come here and not have a great time? Right here we have our version of a mignonette. Vinegar is infused with serrano peppers and honey. We put little shallots and some cilantro in there too to kind of pop it up a little bit.
The biggest reason the Oyster Cookoff is so popular is because the Gulf produces amazing oysters and seafood. But just as important as it is to keep it local, it's as important to keep it sustainable.
What we're doing is we're sorting trash, plastic, cans, and that kind of stuff, and then we've got a special container just for oyster shells. They'll go back out as oyster reefs, which will then allow our wild oysters to have somewhere to grow. Oyster reefs are great not only for the oysters, but for baby fish, our crabs, our shrimp. They all live in those areas, and that's where they grow up before they move kind of offshore. So this is great for our environment.
There's a lot of heart in the food down here.
Our chefs always try to make sure that there's a great concentration on that treasure that we have right outside our door.
We like to work with local farmers, obviously local Alabama oysters, seafood from the Gulf, you know, anything that we can get as close to our backyard as possible.
The ingredients that we have at our disposal are unbelievable, and it's getting better and better. The farmers, the ranchers, we're starting to get some of the best produce in the country. It's only making our food even better.
You know, you can't find Gulf seafood just anywhere.
There's one Gulf oyster. You know, you've got all these great East Coast, all these great West Coast oysters, but in Jackson, Mississippi, and Mississippi, and in the South, we represent the Gulf oyster. The Gulf oyster is always going to be a salty oyster. It's going to be a bigger oyster. It's going to be nice and plump.
I'm an oyster farmer from Irvington, Alabama. This is Jude, and this is Peter, and this is John. All oysters are excellent with just enough salt because it lets you taste the flavor. It lets you taste the marsh grass, and it lets you taste the influx of the fresh water coming down. It's awesome.
For these contestants, the moment of truth has arrived. Stay with us.
Some transitions happen gradually over time, but some can happen in an instant. In the unexpected, magical places that dot the sugar-white sands of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, change comes easily and naturally. Because here, the journey to another state is one of moments, not of miles. Come be transformed.
Thanks for riding along. Dish Worth the Drive is back.
What's your overall impression so far coming from California? Is this your first time to Gulf Shores?
Second time. People here are really nice. The food here is fantastic. I had some fried chicken this morning. I love it here.
Fried chicken, oysters, beer. I think we're gonna have a good weekend.
I mean, we will, definitely.
I love oysters, and November's a great month for oysters.
And it's the best time to come to the beach, too. It's cooled off, like the water's still cool enough to swim.
People keep coming back every year. This is something that is so unique, I think, to this area, is that tourists keep on coming back to it. We love this. Honestly, one of my favorite weekends of the year. It just has a great feel to it. It really does. The talent that comes here for this is amazing. James Beard Award chefs, winners, TV stars, people that when they started with us were not TV stars, now they are. It's just been so much fun. And sort of like the tourists, it's the same people want to come back.
I've been affiliated with the Hangout through different events and things like that, like Music Fest and stuff, and I enjoy coming back here. Every time they have an event, it's absolutely awesome, man.
The way they treat chefs here, unbelievable. It's more of a party, and we're treated like royalty. You know, I'm about to have a couple cold beers and eat a bunch of oysters, so it's a great time.
Good vibe, good people, good group of people, wonderful staff putting this thing on.
A lot of people spread out their wares and come down and put a lot of time and effort into it. And, you know, I'm sure everybody should patronize them and have some fun.
As an oyster farmer, you cannot ask for no better environment than to be stuck in 300 people wanting to eat an oyster. It's great.
People that love oysters have a good time. That's just how it is.
We've called it an oyster renaissance. It's been going on, and I think, you know, we've seen it in some other parts of the country, and I think the South is it's catching on, and I think we're gonna do it better than it's been done elsewhere. Enjoy it. Try the different flavors, see what's out there, and just experience it.
What better place can you go? I mean, I'm sitting out here drinking beer, cooking oysters, and the ocean's right there. Does it get any better than that?
What an amazing weekend with an incredible haul of 60,000 oysters shucked and prepared. And when the sun sets, the after party kicks off. It's Oscar night for these battle-weary contestants. Many of the teams prep through the night to become the next oyster cook-off master.
It's a good time. A lot of people are, you know, having some beers, finally relaxing after a long, hard day of shucking and serving oysters. Just looking to relax and enjoy each other, have a little food and a couple of beers.
How you doing out there, Alabama? Best raw oysters. We got Union. We're gonna go to Rockefeller, that classic preparation oyster. Everybody loves Oyster Rockefeller. We got Beach House Kitchen. Give them a big hand. All right, in the spicy category are Cajun. And in first place, we have Wolf Bay Live. Give them a hand, guys. All right, here it is, the overall award, the Hilton Pensacola Beach Gulf Front. All right. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks for joining us on another culinary journey. From the beautiful beaches of Gulf Shores, Alabama, bye, y'all.
Thanks for joining us on the best road trip ever. Driving in style across the South, bringing you primo bites from heavenly bakeries and kickback taco bars, plus the freshest catch and burgers you'd climb a mountain for. It's a mouth-watering ride to hunt down those crave-worthy dishes you just gotta have. Hop in and catch us on the road next time for more Dish Worth the Drive.